Another concept called VPN. Now let's say we talked about a company with 5 branches, 4 branches. So do you think they will have copies of same data, same servers everywhere? Not make sense, right? So they'll create a central repository of information, central repository of everything. Now how do other locations connect to it? So this is the beginning of a concept called as a private network. These 5 organizations, which are parent-wise one organization, are to be on a one private network. But can that private network be real? Can they lay lines directly from Hyderabad to, let's say, Chennai or Bombay? It's very expensive, right? So they use internet but create a tunnel between themselves, a private encrypted tunnel. So this whole process is called creating a virtual private network. So this is the internet. So there is a node. This is called a VPN server or VPS, virtual private server. So you identify yourself to the VPS, then VPS will assign you a private IP and make you virtually part of your office network. So this office network could be in Delhi. You will be sitting in Chennai. This VPS will assign you an IP as if you are in Delhi. So you can access all the resources in Delhi. Clear? So now a Chennai office member can participate, deal, access resources in Delhi through the process of VPN. Now think about it from the point of view hacker's perspective. What is VPN to him? Key to the kingdom. If I can fool the VPN or VPS server, I am in. Nobody will even know. Clear? Now we see how it actually looks like in real life. Correct? The multiple VPN servers connecting each other. This is how all big companies, all big organizations actually look like in cyberspace. Correct? The group is as strong as the weakest one in the group. Now you guys can visualize where things will be bad. Fair enough? Clear? Yeah. Now let's look at the common things. I'm sure you guys have seen CIA triad, so I won't spend much time on it. Let's quickly look at how a cyber attacker actually attacks. What are the steps involved? This is no different from a regular commando raid that you see in movies. How many of you have seen Uri? Most of you almost. I think I would expect most of you. What type of preparations they do? Think about this. Have they done enough reconnaissance? You've seen the bird flying all over the place. That small bird goes and comes. How much of effort they put in to identify the tunnels, satellite imagery, connecting the dots? That is called. Okay. Then after reconnaissance, they've identified that the best way to get in would be in the night. So that changes a lot of things, correct? They get airdropped in a helicopter which makes very little noise. They don't want to wake them up, so they get dropped away from the field. Have you seen the movie? All of you have seen the movie, right? Correct? So that means picking right weapons for the fight. Which in cyber language means once you have done your homework, you have identified the cyber assets that are available. So like in the last example, it could be a VPN, it could be a server, it could be any damn thing. Now you have to pick a weapon that will be effective against it. Correct? Prepare. Then next part, go and shoot. Works. There's a crack. Now you got inside. Exploit. Now you have access to the operating system. What will you do now? Will you come back? You want to remain there. Do your work. Maybe you come to steal information, or maybe you come to destroy the server. Whatever it is, you have to deliver your payload and retain access. That is called. Because all these steps are happening from delivery to installation is happening without your visibility. You can't see it as a hacker. They're all happening. Once all this has happened, you get an alert. Yes, boss, it's done. To the command center. We'll see with one more example so that it is much more clearer to you. Then you do whatever you want to do. Keep it as a botnet, try to copy the data, try to destroy the server, whatever you feel like. So broadly, they are all called as kill chain, cyber kill chain. Clear? Now we talked about how people generally prepare hacking. So like we said, in the initial discussion about ransomware and others, see how people usually try. This is how most of the cyber hackers do. They randomly pick a huge number of email addresses and keep sending payloads with the hope that some of them will compromise. Then from them what they do? They collect more data from that system because that system is mostly inside a network or it could be an email address. You get more leads, then you spread again. You keep spreading. So over a period of time, you will have a large list of vulnerable machines at your command. Correct? This is totally unplanned, random. Probably looks like a spam mail. Clear? So here, usually let us say you're looking at a cybersecurity situation. Nobody has specifically targeted your company or your organization. It is just going in the flow. You could be one unfortunate victim. And I'm telling you, in my experience, lot of big companies fall victim to such operations. And then there is a specialized operations. This is cyber espionage. They are hell bent on targeting you and you only. Correct? Now here they very focused launch attack, collect details from one victim first, then expand. They don't launch operations against everyone. They are fully focused only on those. Now here the weapons are different, tools are different, everything is different. Because in this earlier model, you have a risk of getting exposed. What if you targeted a cybersecurity researcher? Everything is gone, na? You'll simply publish 2-page report. We'll see one report also like that. Correct? So this is more expensive, dangerous, and tougher. Clear? Of course, these principles we have already discussed. So what does it mean and all that? Yeah. And these are the common terminologies that I'm sure you should know. But if anybody wants to clarify anything, please feel free to ask. How many of you know the difference between a Trojan and a malware? I'm just kidding. What's the difference between Trojan and a malware?
Malware is a general term. If Trojan would be particularly specific,
correct.
Takes a payload
within a payload. This is a question to ensure how many of you are not sleeping. Yeah. So Trojans are one type of malwares. Their primary objective is to give a backdoor to the attacker. Correct? Ransomware and Trojan? Can a Trojan become a ransomware?
Yes, it can.
Yes, that's the point. Yes, you should understand. Phishing and spear phishing. What's the difference?
Spear phishing is more targeted.
Absolutely. Phishing is random emails, not really targeted effort, not really focused effort. Imagine someone does a lot of research and finds out that I have a daughter who's studying in Doon School, writes an email to me, tries to fish me out. That is spear phishing. Which means, what do you conclude? Number one, attacker is motivated. He only wants you. It's an important input or not? Correct? So, in cyber jargon, people don't talk about command and control. They use a very loose word called C2. C2. It's basically C and C. There is also another terminology called C and C. Command and control. So if your machine is compromised, the machine is managed through a command and control. It's again another machine whose job is to keep taking pings. It keeps asking, are you alive? Are you alive? Are you alive? It says, yes, I am alive. Say, this is a command for you. Do this. Fetch me all the images. Fetch me all the files. Send huge packets to this computer. So all that type of stuff. How many of you understand what is a DOS? Denial of service attack? Please.
So denial of service attack is basically if some server is providing some kind of service, the person who's attacking or the hacker who's attacking basically wants that service should be denied to all the clients or the customers, and this is done by overwhelming that server.
Correct. Very true. Very true. What is distributed in it? When does it become a distributed
The
attack?
same thing is done from multiple.
Very true. So basically, see, these are volumetric attacks. So what happens is, whenever you are on a network, you have a limited bandwidth available. When you are running a computer, you can only handle so many connections at a time. Now the objective is to overwhelm it so that you are not able to serve your legitimate customers. So how many have you ever seen this type of attacks before in your lifetime? Yes, the website is simply not responding. That is how you would see it as. So what is actually happening is the website is serving customers who don't care about it. Correct? This is a very common form of cyber warfare, or very simple crude way of settling accounts on the cyberspace. Okay. Now you will hear another very common set of concepts like this: vulnerability, exploit, and payload. If you don't understand this, you don't understand cybersecurity effectively. So it's important that you guys understand these things. So just look at the example for a moment. This is a bunker buster bomb. Can you see it clearly? See it clearly, and who can explain me what is vulnerability, exploit, and payload? I need 3 people to explain. Anyone else? What's a vulnerability? Here, Vinod here. उसको पता है मैं रहता हूँ.
Vulnerability can be said as a weak link in the security, which can be a
Absolutely. In this example, what's the weak link? Show me what's the example. The thinnest part where the bunker buster is launched. The thinnest part. Again, the weakness.
Yes.
Correct? Now, does that mean that you are able to exploit always? You need a material with sufficient strength to break through that. That is called exploit. Now that you have gone inside, you need to be able to deliver something which will do your job. I'll come with a clear example. How many of you know Microsoft Word document exploits? Microsoft Word has lot of vulnerabilities. So it can allow any hacker to execute arbitrary commands. Okay? So that's a vulnerability. Someone exploited it. Basically, it can run any command that you say. Someone exploited it to run his own commands, which are loaded from an internet server. Then it became a exploit. What does a command do? Download a remote administration tool and install it. This is the payload. Clear? So in this example, the hacker identified a vulnerability in Microsoft Office, weaponized it to create an exploit, so that when you double click it or run it, it downloads the code from a computer that he controls, which will install a payload on your machine. Which is the deadliest part in all of this? The payload. Most of the antiviruses try to identify payloads, not the exploits. Some of them these days also look for signatures of exploit. It's a different matter, but it's a rapidly changing thing. Clear so far? Everybody understands the concepts? Now, like I said, payloads, how do they look like? They're pretty simple lower level software. They give you very good control of the machine. They can be bought for $15–20 on dark web. There are many people who sell it. If your victim is not really cyber aware, you can make him install it randomly. Simply say it's a flash update. New app to install, get bonus. Amazon is giving 200 rupees extra. Flipkart is giving 50% sale. I'm sure all of you have received all those messages. Those are all prompts to make you install RATs. Get it? RAT means a remote administration tool. There was a genuine use of RATs, like for example, TeamViewer, AmiAdmin. These are all genuine tools. People have take inspiration from them and built their own tools so that nobody can detect them. Correct? So there are many open source tools also like PuppyRat, QRat, and there are like huge markets where they sell access to a rat which cannot be detected by antiviruses. That market is dark web market. So Dark Comet, Atom Logger, all of them. They are sold licensed because see, antivirus is also changing every day, na? So the person who is making this RAD has to constantly update so that it doesn't, which is why they charge you annual subscription. As long as you keep the annual subscription, your RAT will continue to be alive. Otherwise, it will get caught. See the business model? Post-COVID use of keyloggers skyrockets. I'm sure this is a trend that you all expect, right? Nothing wrong about it, because suddenly a lot of people who don't understand how to operate in cyberspace have access to cyberspace. So most of them fell victims to this scam. There's a huge market in India also. Just have a look at how a command control panel looks. I'll zoom it. Yeah. Good. So this is a special type of a Trojan or a malware called a stealer. Its job is to steal passwords. Just see it briefly on the screen. So the stealer name is Vidar. Correct? So what is it stealing? Passwords that you use to log into sites. So who are the victims? Two victims on the screen. The first victim is from Brazil and second victim is from Lucknow. Based on the IPS, based on the IP, it looks like the Reliance Jio customer, probably. Maybe a mobile guy or a desktop or a broadband guy, we don't know. So what are the details that the stealer stole? Redbus.in, Grammarly.com, OlaCabs.com, Casco.co.in, Freecharge.in, domains are steal it. How did they steal it? Through which application they delivered it? WinRAR archive.zip data. How big is the file? 0.13 MB data. Correct? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'll just drive it a little bit this side. Yes. You guys can see it? The date and time, command control, information. You're selling it for who? All those details are here. This is how a command control looks like. Clear? Yeah. Well, there are hundreds of supply sources like this on the dark web. Hundreds. Because like I said, it's a easy business. You make once, you can sell as many as you like. And people will happily pay you on bitcoins and all that, whatever type you like. So there's a thriving business. It's a huge business on the dark web. If you traverse in the dark web, there are hundreds of forums where people try to sell this to you, cheaper price and all that. And you don't know, you may be running it, you may become victim. That's also there. Correct? And adding to this is constant updates of vulnerabilities which are discovered every day. Every day something or another is discovered and not everything is patched. Correct? Now let's look at one Trojan so that you guys get a complete idea of how it looks like. So this is a Trojan called QBot. QBot basically is part of a first phase random emails. They send random emails, hope for a target, collect it, put them into a botnet. Then think about how do you monetize the botnet. Okay, see the way it operates. Clearly see it? I'll zoom in. I'll zoom. This is a phase 1. So this uses what platform? Okay, I can't color it. Okay. So it uses an attachment with a zip file. Why zip file? So that the email scanners cannot scan. So when you download, you unzip the file. So the file that you've scanned, which is a zip file, and the file that you are running now on your machine are two different things. See the ingenuity, smartness, correct? So when you open, what happens? There is a malicious XLSM file which is in it. When you open it, what happens? It will execute macros. Here the vulnerabilities are macros. Macros are designed by Microsoft to make your life easier, to automate a lot of tasks. Now the attacker is exploiting it to do his tasks on your machine. Clear? What happens to it next? It downloads the malicious DLL file. Separately, binary, there is first stage payload, and from the first stage payload, it loads the actual Trojan. After that, see the stages. Can you see the first level download, second level download, persistence? Now here, ransomware and Trojans, it depends on how the bot manager wants it to be. Collect some random documents, random emails, and then sends it to the master, which is your command control. Now command control looks at sample documents that it received and realizes, oh my god, this guy looks like a guy with a lot of money. Let's ransom him. Or it looks like a random fellow who doesn't have anything. Okay, let him be my botnet. I'll make him just click random ads, get some advertisement money. You guys can see clearly now how it all operates? Okay, I'll show you some emails. This is a real thing which we compromised email address, real email. Hello, please read this and confirm, regards. See the zip file? Now, if you receive an email like this from your boss, what will you do? Yes, sir, I will do, sir. Correct? That's what they count on. Now read this one. Another trick. Please familiar yourself with the attached file and reply here if you have any questions. Don't call me. Reply here only. Because if you call me, I'll tell you I didn't tell you. Correct? This is how this world operates. Same document again here too. Yeah. Now if you look at the malware, you can see a lot of things are hidden here. Can you see hidden? So there are many sheets in the Excel file which you cannot see. When you open the file, it looks like this. Enable content. What does it say here? Macros have been disabled. It will force you to enable it. So it's a clever use of exploit plus social engineering. Background you can see.
So is that Pro that you're using? Pro.
Yes, it is. It's not IDA Pro. You don't need IDA Pro for this actually.
Okay.
But yeah, IDA Pro is this one.
Yeah.
This is IDA Pro. IDA Pro is a debugger so that you can look at the source code to understand the malicious component more easily. There are many other tools like Gidra.
Yeah.
Gidra, IDA Pro. Gidra is released by US Intelligence, NSA. It's a good tool, but nobody trusts it, but then it's a good tool. Yeah. Now we have seen roughly some idea. So far, any questions? Nothing now? Clear? Everything is clear? Super duper? Yeah. Now let's look at, we have talked about small actors. How do you define a cyber attack? Now we look at the serious players in this game. The serious players are called APTs. APTs are people who run this as a serious business. They have their own motives. They could be government trying to compromise other governments, or it could be a group of hackers who are in it to make a lot of money. Because building these softwares, finding bugs, exploiting, weaponizing, targeting is a very, very expensive business. It is not as cheap as it appears to people. Correct? So it's basically an attempt to gain unauthorized access to a computer or a system or a network with intent to cause damage. So broad difference, APTs have some other higher motives, which is why they are called, they are advanced and they are persistent. They are after you, they are not going to give up so easy. They don't give up at all and they continue to be a threat. A regular hacker leaves you behind, goes after something else, but APTs don't go. So the most dangerous threats that we look at are advanced persistent threats. Like one example of APT group is when India was developing vaccines during Corona, all our healthcare companies were relentlessly targeted to copy the vaccine source code, to copy the vaccine mixtures, formulations and all that. So that's an advanced attack and it's a persistent attack. They did not give up till they get what they want. Clear? Of course, a lot of people have a lot of motives. We'll talk about some of them. The first motive, steal data. This is also called as cyber espionage. Second one, disrupt, and third is destroy. So usually technically we look at cyber attacks in 3 Ds. The first one is called disrupt. You basically irritate the functioning of any system. Next you degrade. I used to manage 100 customers simultaneously. I can only do 50 because you destroyed 2 of my servers, or you are just doing RAS on me. My bandwidth is getting wasted at you. Last one is, so these are the 3 Ds. Correct? One recent example we had was the power grid of Mumbai. The Tata Power's power grid suddenly came down. Nobody had any idea why. I leave it to you to imagine. Correct? Just keep that thought with you. Let's broadly look at what type of attacks that we usually see. These are the types of attacks that we usually see. The top 15 attacks. I'm sure all of you will understand something about these attacks. If you don't, please ask me. Yeah. Sorry. Distribution of malware, web-based attacks, phishing attacks, web application attacks, spam, denial of service, identity theft, data breaches, insider threats, botnets, physical manipulation, damage, theft and loss. How does that happen? Take a USB drive and put it. I'll explain in a couple of examples also. Ransomware, espionage, cryptojacking. What is cryptojacking?
Cryptojacking is when you take over other PCs or something to basically start mining for cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, that is crypto mining. Cryptojacking could also mean taking over your wallet directly. Clear? These attacks everybody understands, no? Fair enough? Yeah. Let's also look at one sample APT group to continue our discussion going back. So SideCopy is an APT group which probably is affiliated with Pakistan. So nowadays we see it with a lot of Chinese help, naturally expected. So their malware modules are constantly under development, continuously they evolve, but the core remains the very same. The actors are keeping track of detection, you can see that efforts, they're trying to change their source code so that no longer this antivirus detects, that antivirus detects. And they are also smart enough to fool others by trying to copy another probably Indian APT group. By copying that group's tools, you want to mislead others. So this also happens. Now this is an application which Government of India developed to prevent people from accessing illegally email accounts of government officials. So this group started a campaign distributing a malicious version of that application by saying, oh, you seem to be hacked, so please download this application and use it henceforth. I'll just put a screen on this. Yeah. So this is the actual application. So they started using this similar copy of this application. Correct? How do they do it? Here you see this one. Okay, I'll go back. Now you've seen this application, na? mail-gov.in. How many will notice it? Happily distributed this. So this was an operation which we worked also.